Okay, so this week's writing assignment is going to be a piece of fantasy or sci-fi. Similar things in some ways. One is like encased in the other. So it will be not real, and it will have a kind of a scientific or unrealistic theme to it. We will make sure that we have characters that have traits that we can describe afterwards, and we will make sure that there's a lot of descriptive language in so that we can visualize what's happening in our story. These are the standard bag of things we're doing, where we're having this kind of vivid, clear language, and we're trying to make sure we've described things well. We will make sure that we have used 5 vocab words, and we will make sure that we have proofread, obviously. The key kind of literary element we're trying to put in today's work is a dishonest narrator. So when we write our story, we want our narrator to be lying to us or misleading us in some way. So the narrator is going to be misleading our readers. Okay, so I'm going to try to give you an example of this kind of work. Okay, so we would say the spaceship flew through the vast, empty nothing, its engines struggling to push it forward as it staggered through space. Here we're trying to use the vocab words. So words like staggered are kind of vocab words now. Captain Shaunosaurus was at the helm, slowly making their way to the unknown planet.
Increase thrusters, Jackazard. Good. Slowly bring her into the orbit around the planet. Good. Yediosaurus, make sure you keep the anti-gravity in check.
The ship moved into orbit. The crew were excited about eventually solving the great food dilemma that the Earth had had. Captain Shaunosaurus had guaranteed them that this planet would be so full of food for them to take back that they would never have to worry again.
I know that the journey has been long, but think of the massive food bags you will bring to your family. Oh, I can't wait to get into some sausages. I'm going to get some meat. Why? Think I'm gonna get some sandwiches from that there magical island. Yes, that's right, your bellies will be full.
This is why they were there. To save the planet. This is the problem in my story. The problem that we're going to solve, and the reason. And the setting here is this spaceship, and the setting then is going to be the planet. And our main protagonist, our main character, is so far Shaunosaurus. Shaunoceratops. Also is a Shaunosaurus, I suppose. So, let's carry on. The ship landed. And the crew looked around them. No food was anywhere to be seen.
No food, I'm afraid. Just piles of gold from me to make me the richest Triceratops in all the land. Oh, Captain, you've betrayed us, Captain. Yes, why should we help you now? Well, if you want to get back off this planet on my ship, You certainly better help me pack up my gold.
What a waste. Now our families will starve.
Oh, this has been the worst trip ever!
Said Ceratops. The crew looked shocked and looked around. But what could they do? They were thousands of miles from home, and certainly they had no other way of getting back. So, they helped Ceratops pile the gold back into the ship and got back on, hoping beyond hope that one of the other expeditions had managed to find the food that they so desperately needed. That night, Jackizard crept in to Ceratops' room, slowly lifting him. He placed him into the airlock, closing the door and sealing it tight.
Time to go. This is what we do, Tetrators.
Of course, here we're trying to give some kind of story arc, some kind of redemption, or some kind of punishment for our bad person. So here, Ceratops has tricked everybody, and then he's going to be put in the airlock. So it's what you have in space. You have a door, and so you close this door, you move somebody in, you close this door, and then you open that door, and then they fly off into space. We would like to use one of the vocab words, so we could try to use speciality, I suppose, here. Speciality might be a bit tricky to use. Numb sounds like it would be pretty easy, right? Okay. So we could say engineering was Jackizard's speciality. So he had no difficulty opening the door, the airlock, and putting Ceratops in, and closing it. Ceratops woke to find the door slowly opening, the air rushing out like the last breath of some great dinosaur. Here, but we're trying to use similes to add some descriptive detail. The door is opening, there's space on the outside, so as the door opens, the air is going to rush out of it. So when we think about some great dinosaur being to help us imagine, and visualize here what that might be like. We're going to try to use other vocab words. So numb's a good one, because space is pretty cold. So we can see Ceratops screamed, but nobody heard the scream because, as grade 4 students know, sound waves travel through air. So as the air is escaping, actually, there'll be no sound whatsoever, nothing to carry those vibration waves on. And he was pushed out. His limbs became numb as the frozen ice of the space began to cover his body. As he looked back in the ship, he saw the gold glimmering from a porthole. Here we would like Ceratops to consider the mistakes that he has made in being so focused on gold. So here we're trying to think of an error in his character. So his character is his avarice, if Sean would appreciate the word, or his greed, right? He's obsessed with money and gold, even to the extent that when people are dying, he's lied to everyone to get them on his ship. So, I mean, he's floating away there, and the ship goes off, and we're kind of done with our story. We have some characters, some narrator who is lying to us here. Sean Ceratops was lying to us about going to find food. We have some kind of characters and traits. So Sean is very, very greedy, for example. Whereas other characters like Jack Hazard are very principled. They believe they're doing the right thing, that they've gone out there to help people. And we have a sci-fi setting, a spacecraft planet. We have a problem we're trying to resolve, the lack of food. And we have a kind of an arc. Basically, we have this bad character, and something bad happens to the character, so we get some kind of punishment, and we could all go home and feel pretty happy. So, when you're writing your story, I suggest that the first thing you do is you pick a few characters and you pick a setting. Once you've picked your characters and your setting, then it's pretty easy to start from there. And then you think about how your arc is going to go before you start writing your story. So if you're going to have a dishonest narrator, you should have something in your mind of how that narrator is going to be dishonest. Don't just like they were on a mountain in the trees. Try to think about how they'll be dishonest. As you're writing, try to think about how you can integrate in the vocab words and figurative language like similes and metaphors. And also try to think about how you can better describe things. So instead of saying, he walked to the mountain, or he goes to the mountain, you could say, he slowly staggered to the mountain, walking through the thick, wet grass as it covered his legs in dampness. But add a bit more descriptive detail to what we're doing. You should also proofread. Better proofread. Go through and go see verb plus S errors, spelling errors, read the spelling errors to yourself. Okay?
Tiny children, if you do not proofread, I will glue you to your chair. Glue you. You'll then have to sit for 2 whole weeks. Glued to your chair. Then you will proofread. Then you will write bubbly. Glue.